Welcome to the RSP Boiler Room. I'm Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. So what do you do when you scout a player who is probably under the standards for height and weight for the position? Well, Tarik Cohen certainly would qualify by that when you look at traditional looks at the position because he's 5'6", 173. That puts you in kind of Darren Sproles-like territory at best. So when you look at him, what are some of the things that you're going to want to see? You're going to want to look at balance and power. How much of it does he have, and what levels? And the way I classify that is what levels of the defense can he push, or can he withstand a hit from, or can he break a tackle, or bounce off? And the first example here we have is him coming around the edge here against the safety. He makes a smart decision here to juke inside out to take on the safety, dip his shoulder under the defender, and then use his momentum to turn outside in on the defender so that he can get an indirect angle and push forward for about another 2 to 3 yards, and then he's forced back by multiple defenders. So let's look at this one more time here. Here we go. He has an understanding of leverage. That's the first thing that I would note about Tarik Cohen, is that he understands how to get under the man and then work that leverage point so that he's never facing the man head on. And when he is, he's already gained a good bit of yards. Now, one of the problems that occurs when you have a smaller back like Cohen who gets his yards after contact by spinning and fighting and trying to change direction is that there's a point where you have to just give up. And he doesn't give up here, and he continues to try and stay upright, and he ends up getting the ball stripped on this play. At the same time, when you look at Cohen, he also has that joystick-like change of direction. They call him the human joystick. He's got some of that Barry Sanders kind of play to his game, and you're going to see that here. You see this draw play where I think he should have followed his lead wing back here. You're going to see the wing back. He's going to work across to the right. See that wing back work to the right? I kind of wondered why he didn't go there. And the only guess I have is that he took a couple of steps and maybe saw this, but I think he was looking to the right all the way. And once he does get here, it's cut off. He has to make a really nice pivot to even get here, and then a harder cut downhill. I mean, it's a really nice run, but it's a broken play run. And some of that broken play might have been mitigated if he actually followed his lead blocker here on this kind of a lead draw or wind back draw. But again, that nice stop start acceleration, be able to cut on a dime, hurdled the defender, beautiful stuff. One of the compelling aspects of Cohen will be his pass receiving. You can split him out in the slot, makes a nice little jab and turn on this little stick or short out. Nice catch over the back shoulder, running away from the quarterback. And then here's where that great joystick capability comes into play. You got a safety coming downhill, quick stop and pivot, turns outside, and then beats the linebacker up the hash, or the sideline, excuse me, for the first down. And of course, you get plays with this turning, twisting, cutting style that are really exciting. You have this designed counterplay where you work to the right off through the exchange, then back to the left, jump cuts away and stiff arms the number 7, the linebacker. Watch this poor linebacker. He's up here on the outside. Cohen works inside. He works inside. And then that little cut just to change direction here. Right there. And he's able to shed it. That looks reminiscent of Barry Sanders, doesn't it? I'm not saying this guy's Barry Sanders, but his style is Barry Sanders like. And then watch him squeeze through number 7 and number 21. Not 7 and 21. Yeah, number 7 and 21. That's correct. Look at him squeeze through this guy. This wide receiver right here. Squeeze through him, spin away, and then back his way. Gained 6 on this play. It's a crazy play. And it's one of these plays that you look at and you go, does this put linemen at more risk for injury because of him cutting back and forth and people running into each other and things not going as designed? I mean, maybe I'm overthinking that, but he is interesting in this ability to cut back, change direction, shed glancing blows, create glancing blows. Exciting player. One of the problems with Cohen's style is that he's grown too used to trying to make people miss. And this is a good example of a play where he leaves yards on the field because he doesn't like what he sees and wants to create. We're going to watch him head downhill, inside or outside the left guard. Now, as you can see here, he's got 1, 2, maybe 3 yards that he's going to be able to get here if he just continues forward. But instead, what you're going to see is him try to spin. He stops his feet right here when he's got another 1, 2, maybe 3 yards to get to this linebacker, and he tries to spin away, and he ends up basically giving up 2 to 3 yards on this play because he wants to go for the big play. This can't happen. The thing about Cohen is he's a tremendously creative player, and you don't want to thwart that in the attempt to make him a more mature runner. Now, you want him to be more mature, but at the same time, when you look at a play like this where the exchange is fumbled due to a high snap and he has the speed to outrun the defense and then the footwork and the agility to make that vicious type of move and cut across the field, and we're talking about a run to the 16 on a bad exchange. So we're looking at really a 49-yard run. Look at that. Speed to the corner. That looks like Darren Sproles right there. Now, Darren Sproles runs between the tackles with greater maturity and with more power, and he's got a little more size on him. But that's a fantastic run, especially on a broken play. And, I think a lot of teams may look at him and say, can we use him as a punt returner? Can he hold up in that capacity? I think all the physical traits are there for him to. But the potential to leave yards on the field remains, and you see this happen here on this run where it's a lead draw. And you're going to see him work downhill behind this double team and then make a sudden cut to the outside because he sees his safety coming downhill. Now, why not try and work downhill a little bit more? You can probably get to the 36, 35 right here if you run downhill, get your pads low. But he's always looking for the bigger play, and he's not confident in head-on collisions, which I understand because of his size. But the result is he still gets taken out to 36, and it's only a 2-yard gain. He does a lot of running for a 2-yard gain on this play. Not the kind of thing that you really want to see from a back who has that dynamic ability, but it leaves yards on the field because of the fact that he isn't powerful. There's no doubt that he's a fun player. I mean, you watch this guy and you see him spin off defenders, be able to get away from indirect blows, and then just outrun cornerback angles and start his way all the way through a secondary for a long score. You're seeing speed, stamina, quickness, and balance at its best. And I mean, let's just look at this one more time from the end zone angle, and you're going to see it right here. I mean, this is the kind of thing that makes him a really nice potential punt returner at the very least, because he can turn pretty much anything into a chaotic looking play because of his change of direction and that stamina to continue to beat angles, working from one width of the field to the other. I mean, he zigzags through the field on this. You can see also that the speed is there. And look at this angle coming up
on this cornerback here. He beats that angle pretty handily. That's speed for real. Because you're talking about, when you're talking about how far he's been running, look at where this play starts. It starts at the 17. This isn't a 40-yard dash. We're talking about 83 yards that he's been running here, at least. And he's still separating from this cornerback. That's real speed. So that's going to be something in his favor for sure. What fascinates me about him a little bit is even as small as he is, he shows some good form as a blocker. Look at this defensive back off the edge and watch him uppercut and use his hips to work through that block. He doesn't stop him a whole lot, but that motion to be able to stand up, number 33 was there. It delays it enough so that he can get open, make the catch, run through a wrap from a defensive back again, get downfield. Slipped, only a 1-yard gain, but you see some evidence of a little bit of power against secondary defenders that can be a positive for maybe him making the NFL, again, as a special team guy more than anything else. Because see, when a second or third level defender gets his second or first level defender gets their hands on him, he's pretty much done. I mean, this play, it looks like he threw down a defensive tackle, but that's not what happened. This is the defender getting hit by and tripping over his other defender. Again, nice crease, nice little bounces, good use of the outside ball carrying arm. Gets lost, behind the line of scrimmage. But I wouldn't rely on this as an every down back by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't know if teams are going to rely on him as anything more than a special teams player. Especially if he's not disciplined about getting downhill, like we're seeing repeatedly in this game and the other game that we watched. We're going to watch him try to, where maybe there could have been a cutback opportunity, maybe right in here. He decides to bounce it inside out, widen his path, and forget about it. Where he has hope with some balance against second level defenders is again what we saw earlier when we watched Kent State. He can get a head-on hit and turn it into a partial hit by turning sideways and backing his way out of a wrap and avoiding direct angles. Avoids that direct angle. Look at him drop the pads to avoid this one and get under the defender, and then he's up the sideline and doing his normal Tarik Cohen show. One more time here. See how he uses the stiff arm to avoid that full wrap, and he backs his way out of it. He's using good leverage here, and he's consistent with that practical use of leverage, and he just ducked right under that. So if he can do this in the NFL, he might really surprise. But getting him on the field and having a team trust him enough at this size is going to be a big hurdle to overcome. The talent's there. The question is whether or not teams feel comfortable enough to take the risk. Thanks again for watching. For more RSP Boiler Room videos, you can check out my YouTube channel, the RSP Film Room. You can subscribe to that